We're going to be rebuilding all of your parks, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to go up like a miracle. So you do the job on safety, and I'll get this place fixed up physically, and we're going to be so proud of it.
President Trump hitting the streets of D.C. for a firsthand look at his federal crime crackdown, meeting with law enforcement 2 weeks after deploying them to help secure the city. Since then, D.C. has seen a murder-free week as carjackings are down 83% and nearly 50% drop in robberies. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum was with the president last night. You saw him in the video as his department plays a big part as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Secretary.
Ainsley, great to be with you.
It was great to see you out there, and I know you have a big part of this because you oversee all the federal lands and the parks. I know you've worked with the homeless encampments, trying to clean that up in D.C. Tell us more about your role.
Well, one of the special things about being the Secretary of the Interior is you have an opportunity to work with 5 different law enforcement agencies, and the one that's got the biggest impact right here in Washington, D.C. is the U.S. Park Police. This is an organization that was founded by George Washington, none other, in 1791. But boy, they've been re-empowered by President Trump in 2025. I tell you, you just had the stats up there. Crime is way down, but morale is way up across the over a dozen federal agencies that are all deployed working on this. And you can ask any of the cabinet leaders, Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, Kristi Noem, any of us that are working with these law enforcement agencies, they say the enthusiasm and morale is through the roof because they know that President Trump has their back. He's not just backing the blue with words, but he's backing it with actions and with support that's going to actually turn this around. And when Washington, D.C. becomes the safest capital in the world, it becomes a role model for the rest of the world, becomes a role model for every city in America.
Yes, sir. It shows that a strong police presence really works because you can look at those numbers, no murders in a week. Is this the beginning of the end for defunding and reimagining police?
Well, I think so. I mean, I'm going to say that there was a number of cities across our country, you know which ones they are, went so far in the wrong direction. When they talked about defunding the police, what happened? People started taking early retirements. They left blue states to go to work in red states. I know this as governor that we had people leaving neighboring states like Minnesota to come to work in North Dakota. If you're in the law enforcement, you're going to go someplace where you're supported.
That's true.
So then the staffing was down and the support was down. And then, of course, the courts on the backside, if you're turning loose people when they're violent criminals, turning and putting them back on the streets, pretty soon the law enforcement says, what's the point of arresting someone if they're going to turn loose? But under President Trump in the last week, we've reinstated pursuits for the U.S. Park Police. This has been fantastic because under President Biden, the police were not allowed to pursue. Criminals could just drive off. I talked to some folks there the other night before they were going out, and they said that they'd had just on one night of patrolling, they had a dozen people just flee from them. And so it's like now they're back in the pursuit business, and when they're pursuing people, just in the last couple nights, they've caught people with guns, kidnapped victims in the car, people with warrants outstanding for rape and violent crimes. So they're now
and a missing child.
Yeah, and yes, and now people in this city know that the police can actually do their job. We've also deputized all the Customs and Border Patrol individuals that are working as part of the surge, so they've got the same arrest authority and the same legal protections that the U.S. Park Police does. But fabulous teamwork effort across everybody: DEA, U.S. Marshals, FBI, DOJ, Judge Pirro. I mean, everybody across the whole system working together under President Trump's leadership to make this the most beautiful and safest city in the world.
Yes. I heard that a lot of people have been coming up to the National Guard and saying, thank you so much for being here. We feel so much safer. I want to talk to you about homelessness. What have you done when it comes to homelessness? Because President Trump was tweeting out all those pictures of all the encampments in D.C., and he was saying he's going to clean that up. And what happens next? I know y'all might go to new cities, other cities. Brian was saying maybe Georgia, Atlanta, New York. Is that on the list?
Well, let's start with homelessness. The Washington, D.C. was a disaster. About 7 times as many homeless people here per what the population should have been, even compared to other cities that had a homeless problem. And with these encampments, when President Trump back on March 27th put out an executive order to make D.C. clean and beautiful, the U.S. Park Police went to work. All of the little circle parks in D.C., DuPont Circle, Logan Circle, small parks, Triangle Parks, all these places those are federal property. So the federal park police, the U.S. Park Police went to work cleaning those up. Over 75 homeless camps have been removed from all of those areas. Now with the D.C. Metro Police deputized, they're cleaning up those things. So that problem, being taken care of in this city.
That is great. Mr. Secretary, one word answer because we're running out of time. Where are you going next?
It hasn't been announced yet, but I think you'll see that this is going to be an example for any city that says they can't clean up these issues. President Trump is showing you can do it, and you can do it quickly.
Well, you have my full support. Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary. Doing a great job.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.